Okay, here we go. Don't know what is going on here. When there's great music, just gonna fade it down. All right, so we're hoping we're gonna get Frank on here to talk about Wicca. I don't know what's going on. Seems like my internet connection was freezing up there, which is not cool because it just restarted it. So, Wiccan beliefs. I think I'm gonna go through really quickly. While I'm waiting for Frank, perhaps the 13 principles of Wiccan belief. Number 1, we practice rites to attune ourselves with the natural rhythm of life forces marked by the phases of the moon and the seasonal quarters and cross quarters. Seasonal stuff. I should start earlier. General principles of Wiccan beliefs. Wicca is an almost completely decentralized religion. So it has no high authority. Oh, there's Frank. Let's get him in there. No high authority, no single leader, no prophet, and no Bible to dictate the laws and beliefs. Many, perhaps most Wiccans are solitary practitioners. Frank's coming in here now. Others form small local covens, groves, etc.
Hi, Fraser.
So there are many different sets of Wiccan beliefs. Yes, I can hear you, and now I can see you. Yes,
I can't. Your video
hi,
paused
Frank.
on my end. Okay, now it's okay. How you doing, Fraser?
Now I can see you. I think there's some connection issues.
Yeah, well, you're
The other
right.
one, like it went up, it says connected, no internet. I was like, what do you mean connected, no internet? Weird. So it just cut off. It just stopped when I was starting the previous one, and that might have been what was going on in the previous ones.
All
I
right.
would just say I was trying to upload a YouTube video. It took like 6 hours. I was like, usually that takes like 10 minutes. Anyways,
Wow. Okay.
well, it was
So
just dumb how long it was. Anyways,
that's
but
ridiculous.
I was able to look at some stuff. So I looked at what you sent me. Yeah, I sent
Yeah,
her
and
what you sent me, the
the two links, right?
Wiccan beliefs. That's it. Where's that one? Okay, I liked that. Yeah, there was one page. It was a link straight to like almost like a Wiccan apologetics
Something
site.
like that. Yeah, one's Wiccan
And the other
belief
one was more
and the
just
introduction
a
to Wiccan
dictionary
religion.
almost.
Yeah. So the first one I'm gonna look at the Wiccan beliefs. I'll
Hmm.
look at the first one I posted.
But yeah, and then like I said, I started all I really did was look at. Right now, I'm on it. Once it called. It was led through it. Like the one that was right there, it was just masked with ads and stuff. So I went to what their source was, which was controversial.com, except at the end it's SCIAL, controversial.com. They just spelt it, they put an extra letter. Anyways, that one, it essentially, this, I think it's the first link you can, yeah, you'll see it at the bottom, like it's basically their only reference
Well, the
on
13.
the
Well,
page.
you were reading 13
And I just
principles
went
of
straight there and
Wiccan.
it's got less advertisements. So
You were reading the 13 principles of Wiccan belief before, and I don't know if you want to continue with that or
the that's the first link. That's the
right,
first link, basically.
right. That's the first one I gave you. Plus, I know
Yeah, so that
some
one,
Wiccans too. I know I
and
work
like
with.
like the link, it looks at the controversial.com. It's like I say, it's basically got all the content the one that
Okay.
you clicked on. So just those 13 principles, I read through them. I was like, doesn't seem so bad.
Well, the beliefs don't. It's not.
I haven't got to the bad part yet, like the spells and the incantations.
That's the bad part.
Hmm.
uh, but the other bad part is that they don't follow God. They follow their gods and goddesses. So anything that they follow that is not the one God is pagan and false, because you're not following the one true God. So that's the problem I have with it too. The second one is that they cast for usually for their own personal gain. They sell spells, say that fast, to other people for their gain. But anything that they put out there, they get times three back to them. But there are evil Wiccans out there that call themselves witches that do evil spells too. It's complicated. It's not. They worship the earth. They weren't. They're
I guess so,
naturalists.
but I haven't found any of that stuff yet.
Well,
I
maybe
haven't
we'll
found
tell
any
you
of that
that.
stuff in like the actual in
They
any of
won't
the
tell
stuff
you
you sent me.
any of that. And this
Hmm?
is coming from people I knew who were
Pardon?
witchcraft and Wicca. They say they were Wiccans. So this is.
I'm looking for information, so I'm going on sites where they're saying like this is what we're doing, this is what Wiccans are. So they're not telling me what they're doing?
No, they're not going to
I
tell
don't
you.
understand why they wouldn't.
Of course, they're not going to tell you everything that they believe in because anything that is outside of God, they have to lie about. Pagans aren't going to tell you exactly what they believe. It's as I told you before,
Pagans
and then I told you
That's kind of
before.
a conversation
Yeah,
ender,
right?
isn't it? Like how so
Yeah.
you have no so how can I talk to a pagan? No, I mean I would, of course. I don't believe that. I'm confused as to why you believe
Unless
that.
you've been indoctrinated into their religion.
Unless you're Christian, you'll lie about what you believe?
Oh, absolutely not. Christians can't lie, but I'm saying pagans will because they're
No, but
controlled
just
by
why would
other.
no,
They're
no,
controlled by
wait,
demons.
so
They're not controlled by God.
no, but
Ellen Fraser. Oh,
they're controlled by demons.
yes. Anytime
They're controlled by
you do
demons?
a spell, it's a demon putting that spell that makes it work. Okay. Now I have a story about a guy on the internet who was a
Okay,
Wicca.
spells are like a little tiny thing in this
They're
whole
not a
thing.
tiny thing.
Okay.
They're a big part of being a Wicca. That's what they do. Do you see what they? Oh, we practice. Oh, they have these rituals. It's a lot of spell making too in these rituals. Whether they use potions, candles.
Okay, well, maybe send me the links to those things. If you can send me the links to that stuff, then maybe.
I'm going to look that up, but this is from my
Because
personal
I'm just
experience.
discussing the stuff that you sent me links to. I can't discuss
No,
stuff
I
that I
understand
haven't.
that, but I'm trying to give you some
Okay.
other information too.
I just haven't found any of that yet. I found some freaky people that are trying to do that stuff, but it's like, I don't know, show me something. And like all the stuff that showed me, it was just like 13 principles that were very reasonable, I thought. So those 13 principles, perhaps we could start on those. Like if some people are doing like weird spells and stuff to take people's souls away,
No, they don't do spells. They don't do souls.
So I don't care, and that's not what I found in here either.
No, they do spells for money.
Or whatever it is, that's not what I'm talking about
All
at all.
right,
I want to talk about what you sent me.
All right, so let's get into that then. Let's break down the 13 beliefs.
But just like, and so no. But if we start off, it's evil because. Okay. So it's again the first one is basically following the natural rhythm of seasons.
Okay, the one that we practice right to tune ourselves with the natural rhythm of life, marked by the phases of the moon and seasonal quarters and cross quarters. Don't know what cross quarters are, but the seasonal quarters are obviously winter, spring, summer, fall.
It's just like the seasons.
I'm thinking about so.
That's it. So they're basically farmers. I would say we practice everything. You know, they would do different things. In that, apparently Halloween and New Year's are pagan things. That those are the or Halloween is a quarter and or some damn thing like that. Or there's like the equinox and these kind of things. So it was like, well, really, it's right around Christmas, right? It's right around the 21st of like the 20. So it's right around Christmas, yeah.
Right around Christmas, yeah. So right. That's why that's a pagan holiday.
There it is. Okay, so that's the first one: quarters and cross quarters.
We recognize that our intelligence gives us.
Christmas is no New Year's or Christmas.
Halloween is their New Year.
Equinox.
No,
so the second one.
Halloween is their New Year on the equinoxes. 2 equinoxes or 2 quarters. I don't know what the other quarters are. Well, that's me. I'm not a Wiccan.
Halloween is New Year?
To them, yes.
You're telling me what it is. Anyways, I'll look up Halloween. Okay.
I don't know
so we reckon. No, I don't know. Okay, I don't. No, I'm not going to argue against you. I just thought it was a weird thing to say. I was like, okay, I'll look that up. I'm just trying to point.
No, God.
I was just reading. I'll read this. So the next one, that we recognize that our intelligence gives us a unique responsibility towards our environment. Ecological balance, fulfilling. Okay, that's not bad. I don't know. Oh, consciousness within an evolutionary concept. No. Life and fulfillment. Blah, 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 blah. I think it's the first one. We are intelligent enough that we have responsibility over the environment.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So now,
Or we're intelligent enough that we have responsibility over the
so
environment.
again, they're farmers.
Yeah. No?
No, again, they're
Next one?
farmers. No, they're farmers. Right?
Yeah, no, seriously, like, it's like, okay, it's like, me too. I'm like, yeah, tend your crops, as it were. Okay, this one might be where it gets weird.
Yeah.
The third one might get a bit weird there, is we acknowledge the depth. Oh, no, maybe not. Oh, I don't know. Oh, so, okay, we acknowledge that depth and power are far greater than apparent to the average person. Because it's far greater than ordinary, it is sometimes called supernatural. But we see it as lying within that which is naturally potential to all.
So they have the supernatural power.
It's like we're not reaching our true potential.
Right.
Like they believe that there's something that would seem supernatural to people just because they're not reaching their full potential. Anyways.
So
or that's the part they're talking about spells and incantation.
No, I don't think that's part of it.
I don't know.
I don't think that's part of it.
I don't know. Maybe that's where all the weird stuff comes in. I don't know. Okay. Maybe the next part. We'll see. We conceive of the creative power of the universe. Oh, that one's like. We conceive in the creative power of the universe. That sounds all right.
Finish the sentence. Finish the whole thought. I'll finish it. We conceive of the creative power in the universe as manifesting through polarity, masculine and feminine, and that this same creative power lies in all people and functions through the interaction of the masculine and the feminine. We value neither above the other, knowing each to be supportive of the other. We value sex as pleasure, as the symbol and embodiment of life, as one of the sources of energy used in magical practice and religious worship. See? Sex used in spells and incantations, and for pleasure. So you're starting to get now into the pagan practices.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm actually full on that. We value sex as pleasure. That's okay with me. Sources of energy used in magical practice. I would bring you back to that thing that you were talking about earlier, like magic. If magical practice is nothing more than something that seems supernatural, just because we're not trying hard enough, we're just being dumb and just like, anyways. But I like the masculine and the feminine. It's like describing things. Like with Christianity, we have the Trinity, but in there it's the masculine, feminine. I gotta say that helps.
Believe in
if we're just talking about universal forces.
Right. Well, exactly.
No, then you kind of get good evil.
They're not.
I've listened to other ones where they're like there's theistic ones, there's monotheistic, bitheistic. Like the bitheistic one is that one, the man and the woman one. Yeah. But it could be monotheistic. It could be plural theistic.
Wiccans aren't monotheistic.
Again, you go down into even just a second link on this. Well, if you go on into the link like that you sent me,
yeah,
that's what it explains, is that because it's decentralized, basically the covens can kind of just you kind of discover the greater, like the thing that's greater than yourself without a church. So
you can discover demons are greater.
Well,
Fraser, here's the thing.
It is what is a Wicca?
Fraser.
So what is a Wicca?
Wait, hold on. Let's go off of that for a second. Demons and angels are greater than human beings. Do you agree? Greater in power, depth. They're greater than people, aren't they?
Greater in power.
Well, the demons aren't they?
Greater?
Yeah, they're more powerful. They do have power.
They're not free.
If you let them, what?
But they're not free.
No,
that's not great. That's
but
pretty.
They still have.
Are they greater? Greater is a loaded word. I think we got a new episode ourselves.
Well, in most.
I would say that, like, if we're talking about like the dimensions, dimensions. Say angels would come up here. Yeah. Angels in our dimensionality thing, yes. Angels are at a greater level.
We can talk about the power that they have over us.
So angels, what do you mean by that?
Angels were used to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. They were used in a lot of things. She was going to have a baby. And every time an angel visits someone, they say, "Do not be afraid." So they do have this greater power over us. They must be very imposing, because when an angel comes, it says, "Do not be afraid." So there's got to be some kind of imposing, big figure about an angel. So greater in that sense. Let's talk about that little bit of power, because the angels have power to destroy too. Death is an angel. Death comes to take us
Those
away.
ones I can't follow in, no.
Okay,
I
but so they believe in a greater
I just
power.
don't believe in those, though. That's all.
What, you don't believe in what?
But just that I wouldn't believe in that level of intervention from demons and angels. That's where I get to. Like, I don't see that
But the
in that.
Bible has all
Even
these
when you say that
interventions.
someone can be totally possessed by a devil and that's why they're lying to me or something, that's why I would say it. And absolutely, that you're
Again, the
basing your
whispers.
beliefs on the Bible, and that's what, again, just those sort of interventions by angels. I've never seen it, heard of it
Of course, no one
anywhere,
has
anywhere,
seen it like
anywhere.
that, but
But again, so
it's
that's where I
documented
need
in the
sort of
Bible.
a little bit
Well,
more.
it's documented in the Bible, so we're just taking the Bible as gospel for just for a minute.
That's what I know.
Just for
That's
a minute.
exactly what I said.
Just
I
for a
know
minute.
that
No, I
I
understand
know
that.
that that's scripture, and I know that that's where you get it from.
I understand that. So you can believe in a greater power.
Yep,
It's
that's
not
it. Okay, so
necessarily God. It's something else. It's not, it's not scriptural. It's not biblical. It's not a religion. Well, it is
it's
a
not a
religion.
Christian God.
It's
Yes,
not a
I
Christian
understand.
God.
It
Okay.
wouldn't. It's not a
Okay, good. So
Christian
we got
God.
all
It's
right.
not a Christian God.
So we should agree on that much.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, exactly. No. That's fine. No. I was just admitting that I know that that's where you're coming from. That in Scripture it
Okay.
describes angels doing this and that. I was just responding to that, saying that that's fine. That's your belief system. That's all I'm saying. So what is the other thing about like whether Wicca's like how many gods they believe in? Again, like based on that stuff, it's all over the map.
It
They're
is.
like
Yeah.
Christo.
There is no set, because there's no
Christo
set,
pagans or
there's no set
basically
religion
because it
for.
was sort of like because there's no set of rules, Christians can use it. So it's like Christian
Well,
farmers basically. Christian farmers is like, wow, you're
far,
fitting up all those things. You only just didn't do the spells part. So
so
but
far,
basically that's it. A pagan or as I understand it, the Wicca can use Jesus as their
but they don't
there was a
believe in
word
Jesus.
for it. Each one has kind of their spirit guide, as it were. And so each one can use whatever they want. You can pick Jesus to use your spirit guide to the greater. And I watched a video with them. I was like, holy cow, I think, Frank might like to watch this video. I should have found which one it was. But it was basically some like amateurish video telling how she went from Christianity to Wicca.
Oh, I think I saw
And that
that.
it just wasn't in conflict with her belief system at all. And I was like, wow,
If
it was an interesting. But again, just that because it seems so it's just wide open.
Fraser, I can watch that. If you find it, post it, because I'll watch it and I'll break it down. Because I'll see where the beliefs are contradictory. Because Wicca is contradictory to Christianity and Judaism.
Go ahead. No, I was just like random searching just
Yeah.
Wicca Christianity, or Christianity Wicca, and apparently you get different things if you put them in different order. But just Google that, just YouTube that, and that hits where, like, I wouldn't be able to go back and find it. It's just like some of them it was just, I would watch the first bit and it would just be so rough on like I couldn't even hear the guy. I couldn't even hear him, right? I was like, this sounds like it might be interesting, but I could hardly hear what he was saying because he was standing way, way, way back from the camera.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guy. Can't hear you.
All right.
Don't know what you say. Anyway, so there was a couple more. I really want to get number 10 because that's the one where Christianity actually comes up.
Well, let's do the other one first. Let's build it up slowly.
5.
So number 5. We recognize both an inner or
5 is good. 5 is good. Yeah.
Psychological world, sometimes known as the spiritual world, the collective unconscious planes, etc. And see in the interaction of these two dimensions the basis for paranormal phenomena and magical exercises. We neglect neither dimension for the other, seeking both as necessary for our fulfillment. Again, they're practicing magic and magical exercises. This is against the Bible. But
no, Frank, where you go straight to the part that you don't like. You go straight to the part that you don't like. There was like 40 words in there, and there was only one you didn't like. I mean, listen to the first part. We recognize the outer and inner world. We recognize the psychological and the spiritual. We recognize inner planes. That was a weird. Well, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I think that's they put it in capital letters. So I'm sure it's like what we're talking about dimensionality.
Is my problem.
We see the interactions between the two bases as. Wait, we see the interaction between the two dimensions as the basis for paranormal phenomena and magical exercises. Now, wait, let me just put that into perspective with what Jesus does. Okay, turning water into wine, paranormal phenomena, things that go outside of what we would be able to observe normally. That would be this is the sort of things that, again, that was the link between the two dimensions, Frank. So that those wordings work so good. If magic, you say, if you,
but it's not magic. He was God.
What the fuck, man? No, what one person calls magic. Look, if I was watching Jesus do that, and I was writing down what did Jesus do, I would say Jesus just magically turned. I mean, it's just a word, Frank. Come on, this is the whole word thing again. You're caught up on the fact that they use the word magic.
It's a loaded word, but it's a loaded word because what we consider magic.
Okay, it is a loaded
magic,
word. Yeah.
What I consider magic.
I saw like total agreement in that statement. I am so surprised that you saw disagreement. Holy cow!
Because I see disagreement being wicked and pagan. I'm a God-fearing man. And anything else that challenges
that. You see godly based because it has to be from the Bible. And if it's not from the Bible.
Well, if it's not from the Bible.
But if it's not in the Bible, it's not godly based.
Is magic in the Bible?
I don't believe in that at all, Frank. I do not believe that if it's not Bible based, it's not godly. That, I think, like, I've been clear on that since the beginning. It's like, no, I don't think that it's a definite statement or even a provable statement to say that if it's not in the Bible, it's not godly. Or if someone's not following the Bible, they're not godly. Like, again, that's the basis of my belief, is that people can be godly outside of the Bible. So I think that with that in my mind, in my belief system, that statement is just so far into agreement with Christianity. I'm like, wow, just because it says magical exercises, even if you just, instead of magical, just say godly exercises.
Let me get in the...
And just that outside of physical statement.
Let me read something.
I'm just responding to you. We can move to the next one. No, you respond. I'm just responding. Go ahead.
I want to read something. What does the Bible say about magic, magicians, and illusionists? Answer. There's a
go.
I'm reading it. There's a difference between magicians spoken of the Bible and illusionists one sees today at parties, on stage shows, acts. The magicians in the Bible either gained their power from demonic forces or else they were very little more than charlatans to discover secrets, tell fortunes, and predict things to come. The word magic is actually used 6 times in the Bible. 3 times in the Old Testament, 3 times in the New. However, the word magician is used 15 times. We know that the Egyptians worshipped many gods and that magic played an important part in the rituals of their high priests. It was through the deception of magic that the Egyptians were made to believe their gods actually had power. Genesis speaks of magicians in the Pharaoh's service, but it's interesting to note they were powerless to prompting Pharaoh to send for Joseph, who interpreted correctly because he spoke the word God gave him. The book of Exodus speaks of magicians practicing what is called secret arts. Exodus 8:11. As they brought about and thereby replicating God's plague on the land of Egypt. Magic in this case was used in an attempt to mock God by mimicking the miracles of God performed through Moses. Magic and sorcery played a major role in the pantheistic religion of Egypt. Ancient documents record the magicians' activities, one of the most prominent being the charming of serpents. These men were also self-styled wise men and sorcerers, the learned men of the day and religious as well. 2 of these men named Jannes, Jannes, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and Jambres, Gambres, sounds French to me, Jambre, are mentioned in 2 Timothy 3:8. Any supernatural power they have had came from Satan, 2 Corinthians 11:13-15. If not supernaturally inspired, they simply practiced a trade by optical illusion, sleight of hand, or they learned physical manipulation of such things as snakes. Whatever the case, deceit was their aim, and they were sufficiently skilled to completely fool Pharaohs and his servants. In regards to the magicians and illusionists we see today, they are nothing more than entertainers. There's probably nothing wrong with being, however, they involved with the occult. Clearly, this is something Christians must have. Difficulty is in knowing which are associated with the occult and which are not. In any case, wisdom and discernment are needed whenever dealing with any form of magic or illusion. We can see by reading this that the people who were practicing magic, especially in times of Pharaoh, had demons doing their work to prove their power. Anytime you say magic, this is what I'm talking about. Demons, incantations, and demons making these things come true. You understand?
Okay, thank you. That was very thorough. What you were defined as magic. Very thorough of what you define as magic. Now, Frank, I just want to. That's fine. You and the Bible. You through the Bible, and then and I believe you believe it as well. So that's again that's that belief of magic. Now, to put that onto the Wiccan beliefs, to say that those things, those examples that the Bible is talking about magic, that's exactly what Wiccans believe by magic?
Yes. Spells, incantation stuff, yeah.
That's not that's not how you do it.
That's how they do it. This is what I think about.
This is what I would do. I wouldn't say this is what I think magic is. They say magic, therefore what I think magic is what they're doing. So because I think magic is demons, they must be using demons.
What you think of what something actually is two different things.
No, but you're talking about like pharaohs and stuff. What I'm reading is something 2018, and what they say is magic is not the same way as what they're talking about. You just said,
okay. Changed in 4,000 or 5,000 years.
It just has. That was the first part. That was the first sentence. And the last sentence of what you said was that magicians today
they're not practicing real magic.
Are illusionists.
Being an illusionist and practicing magic are two very separate things.
Okay. So magicians today, people who call themselves magicians today are not practicing the same magic as back then.
Exactly.
Right?
No,
you just said your quotes. What you were reading was saying that magicians today aren't the same as those magicians.
The magic that I'm talking about.
Okay, stop, please.
The magic that I'm talking
Stop. I think we're in agreement. Oh, for fuck's sake. No, we're in agreement.
Illusionist magicians of today don't practice magic as in conjuring up demons, spells, incantations to do something. The magic, don't throw your eyes at me. Magic.
Excuse me. Okay, you make that point. Can I? No, you're frustrating me because you're telling me what Wiccans believe. You've just spent 5 or 10 minutes telling me what Wiccans believe. And now I'd rather go back to the Wiccan website where they were telling us what we were believing. No, you're saying what the Bible believes that Wiccans believe, which is not the same as what Wiccans believe. This is what Frank thinks Wiccans believe. This is what Wiccans believe. Which would I go for? Sorry, Frank, I'm not going with your definition of what Wiccans believe. I'm going with the Wiccans' definition of what Wiccans believe. It makes sense. It's like when I want to know what Christians believe, I come to Christians. Why would I come to Christians to want to know what Wiccans believe? Getting to point number 10, Christians don't like Wiccans.
No, we don't. No.
No, Frank, we're going through these one at a time. You got stuck on one word in the whole thing, and we're going to spend an hour talking about that one word.
No.
I don't think, based on what you said, that the magic in the Bible is the same as
what's your definition you're talking
about. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me, please? My definition of magic is that this definition of magic is the definition of Wiccan's definition of magic. My definition of magic is something else. Your definition of magic is something else. I'm trying to get at the Wiccans, Frank. We've just gone 10 minutes where I would really like to go to number 6. You're stuck on one word in number 5.
Fine, let's move on.
And it's just getting a little bit weird. It's like, I know that you have problems with the word magic. I now know how the Bible defines magic. Okay, can we move to point number 6?
Yes, let's move on.
Oh, can we move to point number 6, please?
Let's move on.
Please. I really, no, but seriously, Frank, is a serious point. I'm not asking you to define what Wiccan is. I'm looking to find out what Wiccan is with you, and I'm getting to more understand that you're ready to just say, no, it's bad, before knowing what it's about.
It's not horrible, but it's not great. I know Wiccans are great people, very nice. They can be the greatest people in the world, but their belief system, we'll get into that later. We'll just get to that later.
But they're so diverse, Frank.
No,
Like the
I
very
understand
first
they are
one is that
diverse.
it's so diverse. Like
No, I
there's just
know.
so many different kinds of Wiccan. Like the video that you watched, it's just some lawyer. It's just some lady
Yeah, I know
lawyer.
that she
And
didn't
she's
have.
just
Yeah.
like kind of being good and doing how-to videos, which you don't get paid much for, right? It's just like, man, I'll just do a how-to video. She's a lawyer. She doesn't need to do that. So it's just like,
Well, there's a lot in this
man,
case.
she doesn't seem so weird. She's not like in a big pointy hat and stuff. So that it's so diverse that it goes from, a theist, bitheist, polytheist,
Yeah, they have the whole
atheist,
definition down the bottom
pantheist.
too on this
What
page.
were some of the other ones?
Hold on, I'll get to wait. Right now.
The whole
Monotheism, bitheism,
spectrum comes in, so that you would say that they are all bitheists, that they were all believe in two gods.
If you have a religion,
I think that no. I'm just saying I don't believe that. Like again, we've considered entirely the Wiccan belief system.
But Fraser, if you
Number 6, we do not recognize any authority, any authoritarian hierarchy.
Go ahead. You want to read?
What?
Oh, you want to read? You're reading. Go ahead.
Sorry. What?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we don't recognize any authoritarian hierarchy, but do honor those who reach, respect,
Teach.
or who do teach. Respect those who share their greater knowledge. Yeah, we honor those who teach, respect those who share their greater knowledge and wisdom, and acknowledge those who have courageously given themselves in leadership.
That's fine. I have nothing wrong with that. No problems with that.
So
Absolutely
I am fully for that one.
Me too.
The authoritarian, yeah, exactly. No authoritarian, but you have to respect those who have given them. Yeah, no, that's nice.
No
it doesn't really
problem.
say anything, but
No, it doesn't.
it's nice. Yeah.
We respect
Okay.
teachers. That's what it says. Excuse me. Okay, number 7.
I really want to jump to number 10 really quick, because our only animosity towards Christianity or towards any other religion or philosophy of life is the extent to which institutions have claimed to be the only way and have sought out to deny the freedom of others and to suppress their ways or religious practices and
Well, that's
beliefs.
not really true. Okay, well,
In
Christianity
a
does
line,
say
as
the only
American
way,
witches, we are not threatened by debates on the history of the craft, origins of the term,
where are you?
or legitimacy of various aspects
you?
of different traditions. We are concerned with our present and our future. Number 11.
Number
12. We do not accept the concept of absolute evil.
Wait.
Nor do we worship any entity known as Satan or the devil as described in the Christian religion. We do not seek power through the suffering of others. We do not seek power through the suffering of others.
Yeah, I know.
We do not seek power through the suffering of others, nor accept that personal benefit can be derived only by the denial of another. We believe that we should seek within nature that which is contributory to our health and well-being. Okay, they're just like serious. Okay, I might leave it. Yeah, that's that. There's just so much agreement here, and then I get online with you, and you just find so much disagreement.
But there's a lot of
surprised.
there's a
I think
lot
it has
to
to do with that
agree
number
here.
10 one.
But you can turn
I
these
think-
things into any kind of belief system. These are very,
But I mean,
very
just in
vague.
sort of the Christian teachings and like what we grew up with and like what I grew up with.
But
Yeah.
Fraser, all these things are very, very vague in there. It's like, okay,
It is vague. And
like
so to
teachers, we
attack
respect
it-
nature. We don't wish harm on anybody. We are for ourselves.
Mhm.
It's all very vague. It's not really a belief system as, okay, I'm a good person. Here's what I believe. You're a good person too. I'll leave you alone. If there's anything here that I don't agree with.
Okay, so it's just a couple things. Can we disagree with those though? Can we disagree with them?
I don't disagree with a lot of on this list. I don't.
Like how can you disagree with them then?
I don't.
So
but this
strongly.
is also in every religion in the world.
Okay,
These things are
cool.
foundation. You want it with the golden rule. These things are the golden rule divided into 13 different ways. Okay? So, okay, great. But what is their deity?
Yeah.
Who are they worshiping? What are they doing? That's the problem. Maybe it's not a problem. I don't know.
Okay, that's where you want to get to. But just that there's nothing wrong with the basic thing yet. I don't know. I just wonder if it is, I guess. Where was that thing at? Oh, where was
After you
that thing
scroll
at?
down, they got detailed.
I want to get to that thing because I think think she said that on her video. Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll definitely go into it because, like I say, I had this friend that's like looking into this stuff. I was like, Wicca.
You know, I've looked
Sounds
into
familiar.
it
I
too.
think Sean might have mentioned it somewhere.
I've looked
But I
into
never
it
really
too,
made
but it's
the
not for me.
link. I knew it kind of, or might have heard of it, that it was witches. I was like, that's what
Yeah,
witches
witches.
is?
No,
Holy shit.
witches and
What is
Wiccans
my
are
friend
different things.
going into witches
No,
for?
Fraser.
She was a Christian before.
Fraser, Wiccans and witches.
Apparently not. I think that's the same
Well,
thing.
I don't think so. I think you
They seem to call themselves the same thing.
have two different.
Or the witches call themselves Wiccans.
Definitions.
Okay.
Not every Wiccan is a witch. Not all witches are Wiccans. They're two different things.
It could be. Yeah, no.
So, they have it on the bottom here
If
now.
you say so.
Detailed Wiccan beliefs about deity. I didn't even read that before. I just read the 13 and I posted it to you to the wall.
Pardon? Sorry.
They have on the bottom detailed Wiccan
The
beliefs
which what
about
now?
deity.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so beliefs among individual Wiccans differ, and we have different beliefs listed. Monotheism. Some Wiccans believe that a single force exists in the universe, which is sometimes called the one or the all. Little can be known of this force. Other Wiccans, typically feminists, worship the goddess by herself. So they believe in one single goddess. Bitheism, aka duotheism.
Just sorry,
What's up?
I haven't found the link yet. Where was that link again?
I'm
Sorry.
on the same page. What's it?
The link? Which one was it? What is the Wicca traditions?
/ Wicca. This is the first one.
Does it go down further?
The first one I put on your page, on the page. Wiccan beliefs. The first one I put on the.
Oh, the link. Oh, right. Sorry, I've gone off into the.
No,
yeah,
go ahead.
I know.
Click on it again.
Yeah, I went into the other page now. Sorry. Yeah, because I read that same thing, like, and it just goes back. I'm like, where the hell is this going? It's all over the place. Like you say, and even the woman says, and I was trying to find my original video because she says, what are Wiccan? No, what did she say? What are Wiccan beliefs? It's like, there are none. Like, thanks. She's like, you can kind of do what works for you.
That was a big.
And I thought that was the problem you're gonna have with it. It was like, do what you want to work, which meant that, like, choose the God you want, basically. Like, just basically be a farmer with Jesus, be a farmer with, I don't know, pick anything else, as long as that makes you a better person. That was kind of their thing. It was like just, and to be your maximal self too. It was a lot about mindfulness, like getting into it. So there was a lot of those things. It was just like, it wouldn't be standalone. Like, you couldn't just be a Wicca in my mind. Like you say, it's just not a belief system. It's like half a belief system. It's like a belief system up to the top of the world, right? And they're just like, you know what, anything beyond that, do what you want. Pantheism, bitheism, we don't give a kook, as long as you're good on earth. And that was interesting. It was like, oh, okay. And then again, once you stop there and then you start doing witchly things and like these incantations to maybe hurt people or even just help yourself, like, again, then that gets into like the super weird. That's when you're not just farming anymore, basically. So I think those would be like the extremest Wiccans, whereas like most Wiccans are just farmers. And so finding that out is like, oh, I'm a farmer too. And I'm being accused of a pantheist also, which I may very well be after. But yeah, no, so it was just that. It was just like finding it with agreements and then getting a really angry face from Frank. It was like, what the fuck? Frank doesn't like farmers or what? No, but I understand. There's definitely parts in there I absolutely understand. They're uncomfortable for you, like splitting God in a different way than it has to be just God. Never go.
They're not splitting God. They're believing multiple gods of worshiping the one true God.
So that you can if you want. Like, they have nothing wrong with you.
Well, that's not going to get you to heaven.
But you can if you want, right? And that was the thing. It was like, they don't accept the high authority that says that you have to believe in one God and you have to go through Jesus. That's the authority that they're talking about. Like, where the authority says, and you have to say such and such words, and you have to be christened, and you have to. So those are the authority things that it feels like they're going against. But they don't deny that could work for you. They don't say, well, if you decide to go into this and that church,
I've met some Wiccans who deny Jesus completely. They don't like the idea of Jesus. They don't his authority. They just think he's a human being.
Oh yeah, that's what it says here.
Yeah, so some have abject hate towards Jesus.
But you don't have to. You can. It's the choice. Yeah.
I don't think that Wiccan allows the belief of Jesus Christ.
The Christian church was pretty bad to Wiccans for a long time. We have to admit that the Christian church
absolutely.
really did persecute Wiccans. Like,
yes, I'm not
so that Wiccans might not like the Christian church. There may be a justification for that.
Yeah, but we're not doing that today.
Might be justified hate towards
today,
the
though.
Christian
They
church.
They have no reason to hate us today. We're not doing it anymore. And actually, the Bible says, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live."
If someone says Wiccan, and a Christian says evil, as the first reaction, before looking into the fact that Wiccan isn't even a religion, I think that it still traces on today. I think if you were to talk to most Christians, as I looked on videos online, there's a lot of that still, like, it's just witches going out in the forest and dancing around a fire to the devil. That's what almost every Christian view on Wicca looked like. I only had 3 or 4, but it was like 3 out of 3. It was like, I think Christians, but I got 3 out of 3. Like, I don't know. Maybe someone else looks at it differently, but I think Christians still have a negative view towards Wiccans, and it's probably historical, and I think Wiccans probably still have a negative view towards Christians.
Fraser,
and it's probably historical. It's not like it's gone away. No.
It's not a negative view towards the person. It's a negative view towards their belief system. Okay, we want to get them towards the one true God, whether they want to or not.
People often take that to say, when I come to you, Frank, your belief system is stupid.
So? Does it bother me?
What did Joy Behar said? No, Steve said. You guys are retards.
Yeah. Joy Behar said
it totally bothered you. It totally bothered you and Sean. You guys talked about it for days, man.
It didn't bother me at all.
You guys talked about it for days. It's like, Christians are being oppressed. Christians are being oppressed.
Well, we are being oppressed, but it's not
I'm sorry. But it does come across a little bit hypocritical.
Why? Because I can disagree with them without. What was I going to say?
No.
I can disagree with them. You can call me anything you like. I'm stupid, I'm an idiot, retard, whatever. Why my beliefs are they are. I can give him proof to that. And if he wants to keep saying that, that's fine. I'll kick the dust off my feet, walk away. It doesn't bother me. My beliefs ingrained that I believe that they're true. God has spoken to me personally. So you can tell me anything that you want. If you have just such a thin skin that you have to let it bother you, especially a Muslim, that they can't take any kind of criticism. They have to kill you if you criticize their religion. Why don't you search into your belief or not?
Where the fuck does that come, Frank? What the hell are you talking about?
I'm just telling you.
That is such horseshit, Frank.
Let me finish, please.
Such horseshit. A Muslim has to kill you if you disagree with them.
Yes, it's in the Quran.
A Muslim has to kill you if you. Oh my God, that is horseshit.
Muhammad had a 94 poetry against him.
Fucking hell, Frank. Yeah.
She was drawn and quartered. Muhammad had another woman killed.
Tell me what Muslims believe.
But let me tell you.
Please, Frank, don't tell me what Muslims believe.
I'm getting pissed off.
Frank?
Let me fucking finish. Let me finish. If your belief system is that weak that you need to go after someone, you have to say they're stupid, idiot, retard, then why don't you go for another belief system? See what you believe is really true. Don't go after everybody else. See, if you can tell me I'm an idiot, I'm a moron, whatever. I don't care. I know my beliefs are true. I know what my belief system is. Anybody else go fuck themselves now. That's it.
Okay, Frank. Part of your belief system is that my belief system is wrong. Part of your belief system is that other belief systems are wrong. And just that if anyone's to say to Frank, your belief system is wrong, you say, I have a solid basis on the Bible, and I say that, can I talk? And I say that, look, that's not enough proof for me, and that other people would say that that's not a proof, that you would go on, and again, be honest, Frank. The things that you said are well beyond just the sort of like, I believe you're wrong kind of statement. It's a sort of, I believe you're evil kind of statement
giving you proof.
because of your beliefs. And those things are unfounded, Frank. Those things are unfounded that you say about that. And they're also very, again, it's talking about thin-skinned, but basically I was just saying some basic things to you.
I only got mad because you started cutting me off. That's all I got mad about.
Because my friend is becoming a Wiccan.
I don't care. She can become a Wiccan. We just wanted to go through what they believe. Let's just go through what they believe. Whether I have any kind of aversion.
No, but it comes back to, again, what I was trying to interrupt you to say was, Frank, please don't tell me what Muslims believe.
But I have the Hadith and the Surah and the Quran to prove it. Muhammad killed someone because they would sing poetry against him.
Frank, I want to say it to you one more time, please.
He was criticizing him.
Frank, can I say it to you?
Go ahead.
Can I say it again? Please, please, Frank, please, don't tell me what Muslims believe.
I read the Quran and the Hadith. I know what they believe.
Please.
I know what they believe. I read them.
Are you going to continue to tell me what Muslims believe? I've asked you 3 times now. Okay, I've asked you 3 times not to tell me what Muslims believe.
As an example, because
are you going to continue? I would like to tell you. I would like the best thing that I can get out of you, Frank. You continue to tell me what Muslims believe.
Because
I know 4 times I've asked you not to. When I come to you, Frank, for discussions on these things, I want to know what you believe. And when you tell me what you believe, and you truly believe it, as you do passionately, you say, this is what I believe. I believe you, Frank. Now, if you tell me you passionately believe that this is what Muslims believe, I do not believe you, Frank.
If you've read trusted sources or any,
and if I want to know what Muslims believe, I will go talk to a Muslim. So please don't tell me what Muslims believe. It is totally not your. It's like you explaining to me what I believe. It's just not going to work. It's not going to be. It's baseless. You can tell me what you believe, and that's got a strong base. Because you can feel the Holy Spirit in you. You can't feel not the Holy Spirit in a Muslim. So you can't. Please.
Could I go back a second
time. Please, Frank.
Can I go back?
Even though you read the Quran. Even though you read the Quran. Please, Frank, don't tell me
but these are the trusted
what
Islamic
Muslims
sources.
believe. 5 times.
But if they have if we have the trusted,
can we turn to another topic? Like, I just asked you not to do that, and you just keep going back and doing that, Frank. Don't tell me that. I don't care. Let's talk about Wiccan shit. My God, Frank, I've asked you 4 or 5 times not to tell me what Muslims believe. It just makes you look like you're doing what you hate people do to Christians and say Christians believe this and Christians believe that and Christians believe this. And you say, no, that's ceremonial law, actually, and people should look more into it. And then you believe, and then you say, Muslims, if you disagree with them, they have to kill you. I was like, I've never run across a Muslim like that, just like I've never run across a Christian. No, I'm responding to you, buddy. I've never come across a Christian that would kill their child for being disobedient. It says that in the Bible. So don't tell me, I won't tell you that you believe that parents should kill disobedient children, just as I don't want you to tell me what Muslims will interpret the Quran to say. It's a non-starter, Frank. So if you do it again, if you say one more time, it's like,
if it's
what the Quran says, I'm going to say one more time, Frank, please stop telling me what you think Muslims believe.
But if it's a part
Let's
of
just
history,
stop doing it. It's not going to work. I'm just going to keep repeating, please stop.
But if it's history and it's known that they believe this thing, you have to look at history, say this is what they have. This is what they believe. You go to the trusted sources. You want to know about Christianity? Go to the trusted sources.
No, you have to talk to Muslims to ask what they believe.
A Muslim could be wrong. A Jew can be wrong. A Christian can be wrong. You go to their trusted sources to know what they believe. A person can make a mistake. I can make a mistake. Of course, I can make. I don't know everything.
So that is the stupidest thing you've ever said. That is the stupidest thing you've ever said, I think, Frank. Oh my God.
If you
You
go to
don't like Muslims to the point of just
no, I
being
didn't say
really
that. I
stupid. I'm
didn't
sorry,
say
but
that.
that is
I said I
stupid,
go
Frank.
to the
You know, I know you said you
what
don't
they
care if you
believe.
got, but what you just said is just so dumb. Don't talk to the person to tell me what they believe. Read a book that they read.
But if you
What
go
the
to the
hell, man?
trusted sources, if you
That
go
was
to
rich.
why they
Okay,
are
okay.
the book
Holy Christ.
is why they
Frank,
are a Jew.
okay,
What
I'm going to say it
Jesus
again.
believes.
Frank, please, please, please stop on this topic. Please stop. Please. I'm asking you, Frank, please stop talking about this. That's the 8th time I've asked you to stop talking about this.
I know, but it was
8.
relevant to what I was saying.
Please stop.
Okay. So what do you want to do now? You want to go?
Thank you. 8 times, Frank. That shows a level of just it's just like something weird with you and Muslims, guy. It's just weird and it's over the top.
Because Muslims
You've
are the only ones
dehumanized them
I
down to the
haven't
point of you won't
dehumanized
even
them.
talk to them.
No, of
That's
course I
wrong,
talked to
buddy.
them. I
That's
talked to
just so
Muslims the other
wrong.
day. I never said I wouldn't talk
To
to
the
them.
point you won't even talk to them. You said, don't
No,
talk to
I
them. They
talked to
could be
them.
wrong. Don't talk to them. They could
No, don't
mislead
talk to them
you.
about their beliefs.
Ah, you did
I
say
just
that. You just said that about Wiccans, too.
I
It's
could be
like,
wrong too. I don't know
what the
Christianity.
hell?
You
They
go to the
don't
trusted
know what their
sources.
beliefs are, Frank. Okay, Frank, you don't know what your beliefs are. Goodbye. What
I
the
do.
fuck? That's such a dumb thing to say.
I go to the
I'm sorry,
trusted
Frank,
sources
but
to
this
make
is
sure I know
bad.
what my
We
beliefs
should
are.
never talk about Muslims again. In fact, I don't think we should talk about anyone else's belief systems. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, that's very frustrating. That's very frustrating when you talk to other people's belief systems like that, Frank. I don't like that. We should talk about other stuff next time. That was, no. Sorry, bud. I know it's that whole it's my way or hellfire.
No,
That's
no,
the
no.
sort of thing that comes across when
I'm
you say
sorry.
that.
I don't mean to sound like
And
that.
that's what I really don't like about Christianity. Honestly, when I was there, it was like that too. I was in that same place. Like anyone who's not even doing the same like denomination as me, they're doing it
No, I
wrong.
never said that
And
either.
that kind of
Fraser,
attitude
I
is
never said
just so
that. When have I
poisonous.
ever said
Like
that?
you talk about destroying relationships. Now,
I
I've
never
said that. I said that. I am saying these words right now. These are my words. These are my words. And I'm just saying that it's the same kind of thing. It's that same kind of my way or hellfire way that just like it closes conversations so fast that people won't want to talk to you, Frank, when you open it like that. People
No,
will want to kick
I
you off
don't
their
say that
page
to
because you say
anybody.
these
I
things that are
don't.
like, no, obviously, look at this. And it's just like it's a closed-minded way of saying that. Yeah, you say this is what you believe. Look at your words in your Bible or in your Quran, and you say that, and then you like it's just so it's not cool. It's just not cool for me, Frank. So next time, different topic. But anyways, ugh. I'm sorry, I got all heated there, but really, Frank, that really upsets me when you talk like that. It's like, no, Frank, you're so loving. Why would you be not loving towards a
I
group of
love
people just
everybody. I
because
love
of
Muslims to
something
be
a
the greatest
book that
people
they
in the
grew
world.
up with
I grew up,
says? Like people,
Fraser, I grew up with all types of people.
if
They're
they
all
love
great
Jesus.
people.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
no, Fraser, please, you're putting words in my mouth like Steve did, Steve accused you of doing. So please let me say my beliefs right now. I've never said your beliefs were wrong.
Did I?
I think you just did. Did I hate people? Did you say that? Did I hate people that have different beliefs? Did I hear wrong? No, seriously, did I hear wrong? Did I hear you wrong, Fraser? I'm sorry if I did.
Make your point. No, we can listen back if you
No.
want.
Anyway.
I'm just saying that when
Well, let me anybody who has different.
I think that you're closing off doors just by saying these things, whatever.
I won't close. No, I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
but when you say something on a post on a website, you've made 100 people that will not be your friend right now. So it's what I said was that you're closing off doors, you're shutting people out before even getting to know them, saying that this is what Wiccans must believe, that Wiccan is bad because it denies God, when actually a lot of them that I looked at were like Christian farmers, basically. And it was just like, wow, okay, well, Wiccans must be bad. Well, except for the ones that are doing good things. Or like, it's just like, gosh.
I didn't say they
to
were
just
bad. I said
sweep it all under the rug. Like, I had to get you online to talk about this. Otherwise, you would have swept every Wiccan under the rug. Just like we've swept almost every Muslim under the rug as just like,
no, I don't see very Muslim under the rug.
Something in their book says something. So even if they're at the sort of literate level, like even if they're like me at the Bible level, they haven't even got to that chapter yet. well, there must be about to do something evil because, that chapter, even though they haven't got to that yet, they must believe it. It's so weak as an argument. That's why I say I don't talk about why other people, when they say their beliefs are their beliefs, that there's like, no, that's not at all what you believe. Their belief may be not in that book, but just like, you talk to Sean a lot about, the chakra stuff. But Sean's a really good, godly person. But he just, some of that stuff, it was like, what?
The chakra stuff?
That Sean's a godly
the chakra
person?
stuff. They don't like that.
It was horrible.
I don't believe in that
shit. I thought, yeah, it was, no, but you should see it. Oh, maybe it was on a private. And he kind of told me how, in his, I don't know, at the time, the sort of spiritual leader was saying, yeah, go through Christ, basically. And so he found Christ through chakras. Like, he wouldn't have even got there if it wasn't. So it was like, anyways, whatevs, right? But it's just that kind of thing. It's just like, so some people, like, come Christ in this, like, weird psychedelic way. It's just the same thing on the other side. It's just like, there's some Muslims over there. They don't know about all this crazy stuff.
Fraser, actually,
and they don't even accept it. And they're just like you and me.
Fraser, I actually have a friend of a friend.
Despite the fact that they're praying on the wrong day.
Fraser, I actually have a friend of a friend who was a very bad drug addict, and he took a bad LSD trip one day. He said he became Christian. So, and that was his path. Having a bad acid trip was his path. So there weren't.
That's it. A badass trip. And that's the sort of thing I believe. And that's the sort of million different paths to God.
I path to God, too.
I got to that the other time where it was just like, I would just wait longer. I just don't, sorry?
Well, I can see where Wiccans can have this path to God, too.
I guess I would say, like, if there is some sort of, I think there's like a wicked delay right now. But, I would, like, in my belief system, that it's, what we do on earth is like judged on earth, I suppose. And that, if I was, and when I was back, going through the whole thing, I guess I would have been one that would have said, that wouldn't have believed in sort of the judgment is only based on what you do on earth. That sort of the eternal hellfire is a little bit harsh for, kind of throwing me onto earth imperfect. And then if I die by accident, eternal hellfire, you didn't save quick enough. So it's just sort of like getting saved eventually. And I think that you were getting into a little bit with that maybe one time. I might have misinterpreted, but it's sort of like
we've
something like the limbo sort of thing, or I'm not sure I'm saying it right, but sort of like you could kind of get saved after you died sort of thing.
Well,
no?
We did have this thing where we talked about people being able to be saved without knowing Jesus, the Bible, and everything else like that. So there is the ability to be saved like that.
Yeah. Okay, I guess but after death, is there a way of getting saved, like, even after you die?
I really don't know.
Or no, it's too late?
I could know. No, honestly, I can't answer that honestly.
Okay. Not based on, like, not based on the Bible, you mean? Okay. That's interesting, because, like, that always gets into it too. Like, and I said that too, and maybe that's not it. Kind of like my way or the hellfire way.
I'm gonna go on a limb. Maybe I'm wrong or not. But say someone dies without accepting Jesus, being a God-fearing person. Maybe they go to purgatory, just there, all their sins are burned away, and then they go to heaven. That's a possibility, but I don't know. Only Catholics believe in purgatory.
Yeah, that idea of purgatory. In my mind, it was like...
That's not a Protestant thing. Only Catholics.
For me, it's just like infinite is just so huge that you would go from, like, well, I don't know. You go with, anyways, you get in here on Earth, imperfect, for, like, say an average of, over all time, say an average of 35, 40 years lifespan.
Right.
Maybe 50, Given every human that ever lived, 50-year lifespan, plus or minus like 15 years margin of error, say. That again, that's what you get. It's like, you got to figure out how to be good in that amount of time, or else eternity you will suffer worse suffering than suffering could possibly be. Or the other way around. If you figured it out soon enough, you were born in the right part of the world. No, but no, absolutely not. No. And so many people are good that that's exactly what it is. So many people are so good, they just didn't put the Yeshua through their lips and in their heart, but they are so good every day of their life. That's where my belief says that no, if there is a heaven afterwards,
I agree with that.
those people will
No,
be
I
there.
agree with that totally.
And if people are bad, like say someone goes like really bad to their right to the end of their days and gets there and like comes out to the other side, and it's like then they still have eternity to think about it. And after that, still another eternity till I figure it out again. And then again, like in that time, again, in my belief system, there's maybe a hopeful thing. Like you say, how can you ever know? My hopeful thing is that a reasonable God would judge that reasonably.
Yes, absolutely.
And that would say, okay, it took you an eternity and a half, or like 1.5 million years to figure it out, but you figured it out, so here's the pearly gates. That's where I would go to. And I just wouldn't understand. I just can't understand why it would be otherwise.
Right.
Why it would be
exactly.
like, no,
Fraser,
sorry,
let me
buddy,
tell you, an
you were
eternally
8 years old, past the age of enlightenment.
Fraser, can I talk?
And but it was 8 years and 1 day or whatever. You tripped over and fell, and you just hadn't saved Jesus Christ yet. And just a fair God would give that time. Yeah.
Exactly. I agree. A just and fair God would take that ignorance into account into your salvation or your damnation, as it may be. But I believe that over 90% of, close to 95% of people can go to heaven without knowing Jesus, without knowing God, just being good people. I believe that. I believe a lot of people go to heaven. It's that very, very few, like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Heimler, Heimler, who's World War II doctor, I think, something like that. These John Wayne Gacy, all these people who have no repentance for what they did. No, they've killed people, they've hurt people, rapists. They don't have no remorse. Those are the ones that go to hell and that are totally damned. You do have this gray area where people can be good, not know God, and go to heaven. It could be a very, very big gray area. Even Wiccans, I think, if they don't know,
Yeah, and like you say, how do we know? For sure. I would be with you. Like, I wish that was the case, but at the same time, I just see so many not moral hazards, but just like how, just the existence of hell. It's like, I sure wish that guys like that would go to hell, but it's
really, really evil people.
But I sure hope hell doesn't exist at the same time.
But if there's a heaven, there has to be hell.
But I still don't want hell to exist.
But there's always a positive for negative. You can't have day without night.
I don't think so.
Right? You can't have work without play. It's always an opposite to whatever exists.
I don't know. I don't make up heaven.
Of course not. But there's always
if
there's an evil, there's a good.
That's fine. I wouldn't be able to describe it.
But
I don't know.
Fraser, there's an evil.
Well, we define like polar opposites. Like polar opposites.
Yeah,
we're getting back into Wiccan stuff now. Polar opposites.
Well, that's Fraser.
Polarity. Oh, that's totally the thing. It's all about polarity.
That's universal belief. It's not just Wiccan. There's a plus and negative side.
No, but I don't know. When I get up to the top, it's just like one big ball, if you were. I don't divide that one in half. Sorry. I don't think there is a hell.
Oh, there is. Jesus mentioned.
I don't think it fits within the idea of what a loving God is.
Every major religion in the world believes that.
I know.
Well,
I know, but that's where I would be at.
It's not that a loving God doesn't condemn us.
I guess I'm not in either. I'm not in a major religion.
You will condemn yourself denying Jesus and being an evil person. God does not condemn us. We condemn ourselves.
Okay, but that God is, like, again, if we were talking about those 26 dimensions, God is 27, so hell is within the 26. And I don't think that God would eternally burn people in the 25th dimension. No. It's just not my thing.
No, God doesn't. As I said,
it doesn't work within my belief that, again, that God is infinite and that God would be so Like jealous really is jealousy is the thing.
Not
Like that
jealousy at
God would
all.
be so jealous
It's all about
as
sin.
to do that. And that's the part where I get,
It's
no,
all
it's the
about.
jealousy.
It's
It's the
not
one that
jealousy.
Sean
It's all
talked about.
about
It was
sin.
like,
It's all about sin. It's not about jealousy. If you sin, you
no,
can do
it's
something.
about accepting
Let me
Jesus
ask,
Christ
Fraser,
is what
let
I'm
me ask.
talking about. The jealous part I'm
Wait a
talking,
second,
no,
hold
no,
on.
no, 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 please, please, please,
Wait, I
please,
need
let
to.
me finish, let me finish, let me finish. Let me finish, because, no, please let me finish. I'm not talking about the sin part. I'm talking about accepting Jesus Christ into your heart part. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. Not the sin part. The jealous part, I'm talking about the accepting Jesus Christ into your heart part. Just to be very, 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 very,
That's
very
not a very
clear.
necessary part of salvation if you don't have the ability to get to the Bible or have this knowledge. So go ahead.
Fine, that's not my point. My point is for those that do, everyone that's got it right there in front of them, they got all those books there, that God would be a jealous God saying, you've got to pick this book. I don't believe that that's the God. I think God waits until the guy goes out of the library and watches what he does every single day of his life. Doesn't care if he picks up a book. I don't believe in a jealous God in that sense.
All right.
For people that have full knowledge of every religion. I don't think that God cares about which one they choose. I think that God cares if they live their life in love or not. At that same time, I don't believe in hell.
Let me ask you something now.
Except for the hell that we make ourselves on earth.
Let me ask you something now. It's a person. If there is no hell, there is no consequences for our actions, right? We don't get caught. Let's say someone is a murderer, they never get caught. Someone's a rapist, they
That
never
is
get
wrong.
caught. They never get caught. So what is the eternal punishment for someone who doesn't get caught that's a really, really bad person? A killer, rapist, thief. What is
I don't know.
so there has to
I
be a
don't
hell
know.
then.
I don't know.
There has to be a hell then because there is no consequences for your action.
No.
There is no reward
No.
for being good.
There is consequences for your actions.
What?
And eternal hellfire for little things is not an appropriate punishment. So if we are talking about a fair God, if we were talking about, a system of punishment that you and I might be able to devise, which is not even godly at all, system of punishment. So me and my lovingness, I'm going to punish people. Let's see. Now we get someone that has, say they've done this thing. This is this bad. This thing is twice as bad. This thing is 100 times as bad. So none of them are infinite times as bad. That's just not even a possible thing. That we can't even do infinite badness to another person because we're finite people. So the consequence for any finite action being infinite is, by definition, unfair. That's just it. And so an infinite punishment for a finite action, it's like getting a million punishment for a one action, but worse. Infinite punishment for a finite action is unfair. That's all I need. I don't understand why that's up for debate.
If someone is going to do something so bad that
it's really bad what some people do, so they should get like a million years in punishment. That's fine, but not an infinite. Infinite is disproportional. It's unfair by definition. Your turn.
It's a mark on your soul. It's even if you okay. You have
what the hell? It's not in proportion.
All right. Let me ask you.
Infinite is bigger than finite. Okay, the average life is what, 80 years, and so if someone does 80 years of bad shit, that's 80 years. Is like, and they're just doing bad all the way time. I don't know. I'm writing it. No one can read it. And this is infinity. This is forever and ever 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 and ever. If this was not forever and ever and ever, this was just 800 years of really, really the worst things that anyone could ever do to you. So probably worse than they did. This is 800.
All right,
this
I got an
is
answer
80.
for you.
So when I say disproportionate, I mean that 800 over 80 is not equal to 1. It's equal to 10. So it's disproportionate.
I have an answer.
That's disproportionate. So when it comes to infinity, so 80, so you have 80 over infinity over 80
I have an answer
equals actually infinity. So it's
I have an
infinity
answer to you.
times disproportionate. Actually, that's the second time I've said that, and you're trying to interrupt me before I'm finished my point.
You said your point
Go
4
ahead.
times. Now let me give you your answer. How is eternity in hell a fair punishment for sin?
You said it was not disproportionate.
Let me
I was
answer the
showing
question.
you
I'm going to
on
give it to you
paper
right
how
now.
it was
I'm
disproportionate.
going
That's
to
the
give you the
second time I
answer
made
right
that point.
now. Let me give you the
I
answer
did not
right
repeat
now.
myself 4
This
times.
is an issue that bothers many people who have an incomplete understanding of 3 things: the nature of God, the nature of man, and the nature of sin. As fallen, sinful human beings, the nature of God is a difficult concept for God as a kind, merciful being whose love for us overrides and all his other attributes. Of course, God is loving, kind, and merciful, but he is first and foremost a holy and righteous God, so holy that he cannot tolerate sin. He is a God whose anger burns against the wicked and disobedient. Examples: Isaiah 5:25, Hosea 8:5, Zechariah 10:3. Not only a loving God, he is love itself. But the Bible also tells us he hates all manner of sin. Proverbs 6:16-19. And while he is merciful, there are limits to his mercy. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the evil man his thoughts. Let him turn to the Lord, and he will have mercy on him, and our God, for he freely pardons. Isaiah 57. This is long. Humanity is corrupted by sin, and that sin is always directly against God. When David sinned,
Okay, whoa, stop, please,
what?
stop. Whoa,
What?
whoa,
Let me finish.
please. Oh my gosh. Whoa, I had like 30 seconds to talk. No, but this is getting away from the point.
To the point. I'm
The
going
punishment,
to go. I'm going to get it.
eternal, is
It's going to
still
come up.
disproportionate.
When David with Bathsheba
No,
and
please.
having
No,
Uriah
please,
murdered,
please. Can
they
we stop?
responded with
Sorry, can we?
despair. Against you only have
Please.
I sinned and done what is
Oh
evil
my
in your
gosh.
sight. Since David has sinned against Bathsheba and Uriah, how could he claim to have only sinned against God?
Okay.
David understood that all sin is ultimately against God. God is an eternal and infinite being, Psalm 92. As a result, all sin requires an eternal punishment. God's holy, perfect, and infinite character has been. Although to our finite minds our sin is limited in time, God, who is outside of time, the sin he hates goes on and on. Our sin is eternally before him and must be eternally punished in order to satisfy his holy justice. So, no one understands this better than someone in hell. The story of the rich man and Lazarus. Both died. The rich man went to hell while Lazarus went to paradise. Luke chapter 16. Of course, the rich man was aware of his sins were only committed during his lifetime. But interestingly, he never says, how did I end up here? The question is never asked in hell. He does not say, did I really deserve this? Don't you think this is a little extreme, over the top? He only asks that someone go to his brothers who are still alive and warn them against his fan. Every sinner in hell has a full realization that he deserves to be there. Each sinner has a fully informed, acute, aware, and sensitive conscience, which in hell becomes his own tormentor. This is the experience of torture in hell. A person fully aware of his or her sin, with a relentlessly accusing conscience, without relief for even one moment. The guilt of sin will produce shame and everlasting self-hatred. The rich man knew that eternal punishment for a lifetime of sins is justified and deserved. That is why he never protested or questioned the realities of eternal damnation, eternal hell, and eternal punishment are frightening and disturbing. But it is good that we might indeed be terrified. While this may sound grim, there is good news. John loves us, John 3:16, and he wants us to be saved from hell, 9. But because God is also just and righteous, he cannot allow our sin to go unpunished. Someone has to pay for it. In his great mercy and love, God provided his own payment for our sin. He sent his son, Jesus Christ, to pay the penalty for our sins by dying on the cross for us. Jesus' death was an infinite death because he is the infinite God, man, paying for our infinite sin debt, so that we would not have to pay it in hell for eternity. 2 Corinthians 5:21. Our sin and place our faith in Christ, asking for God's forgiveness based on Christ's sacrifice. We are saved, forgiven, cleansed, and promised. God loved us so much that he provided the means for our salvation. Reject his gift of eternal life, we will face the eternal consequences of that decision. So sin, being eternal and always in the face of God, has an eternal punishment. That is the reason why hell is eternal.
Did you have to take 5 minutes to say that, Frank?
Yes,
Oh.
it was a good
Okay,
explanation.
next time, please just say sin is eternal and then post the thing. I understand that Scripture says sin is eternal. Frank, I understand that.
Okay,
I'm not
so
arguing against the
if
fact
sin
that,
is eternal, the
that the
punishment has
Scripture
to be
says sin
eternal.
is eternal. My point was, according to the Bible. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
All right, I'm going to sign off for now, Frank. But yes, according to the Bible, sin is eternal. I don't believe in that because I don't believe a God in love would
But God in love
be so
provided our
jealous or so
salvation.
thin-skinned that he couldn't take a little like swear words.
But
That's
God
fine.
gave us the way
I
out.
understand that Scripture says that, Frank. I understand that Scripture. Okay. This is where I said it's got to be your way or hellfire.
No,
Frank.
I never said that.
And
I
it
just
sounds
gave
a
you.
lot
I gave
like
you the explanation.
this is what you're saying.
No,
Anyways,
Fraser,
can we
I
sign
gave you.
off for now?
It's not
Can we
my
just
way.
sign off?
It's his way.
Can we just sign off for now, please? It's very,
I'm
very
sorry.
late. Yes, I know it's the
Fraser,
Bible.
I
Can we
love you
sign
very
on
much.
that note? The Bible
Fraser.
and on the sin, what the Bible says is sin. Can we please? I do. I love you
Fraser,
too, Frank.
I love you.
Yes.
We
Thank you.
don't have to agree all the time, but this has been seeking truth, finding misunderstandings between Frank and Fraser, and a little bit of arguing too. Good night, Fraser. God bless you.
I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of love.
Always in love, Fraser.
Bye,
Always in
Frank.
love.